It's 9:30 p.m. in the night and day 2 of the Olympiad has been completed. Team India once again had resounding victories in all 6 matches of theirs. Team ABC in the Open and Women. But Team A of India has won with a score of 3.5 against Moldova. The only draw by Arjun Erigesi against Makovi Andre. Let's go to Hari Krishna's game here. I have a very interesting position for you to show. So in this position, what happened was Hari Krishna was playing with the black pieces. Now, his opponent has the bishop pair, but Hari Krishna has an extra pawn for the time being. Now here, his opponent went wrong and took bishop takes f6. This was a mistake because he thought that Hari Krishna would recapture, and then after f takes e4, the pawns are equal. But Hari was in his element, as over here after takes, he first took e takes f3, an intermediate move, and after bishop takes f3, g takes f6, bishop takes c6. In came a beautiful move here for black. Try to find it. Because of this, Hari Krishna just won the game. Answer is rook e5, threatening to capture this pawn. And if you take, which happened in the game, then after fe5, black has very strong central pawns. With this was a very important win. Let's also have a look at a very interesting moment in Shashi Kiran's game. He won on the 4th board against Julian Baltag. And IM, well, it's an opening position. Now, what do you say about this? This is Queen's Gambit declined, and generally black goes knight g7 with the idea of bishop f5, or even short castles is fine. But guess what black did here? Black played the move king f8 unprovoked. He moved his king like this, and of course Shashi Kiran was not going to let him off the hook. He won the game, and that's how India won 3.5. Now let's go to the women's section. By the way, all the analysis that is being done is on the actual boards where the players played. Today, Indian women's A team was playing against Argentina, and we scored 3.5 win. The draw came on the first board where Humpy drew her game against Zurel Maresa. Vaishali won her game against Campos Maria Jose, and also Tanya and Bhakti won their games as well. Let's have a look at a very critical moment from this game of Humpy. So in this position, Humpy made a mistake with the move rook a e1. Now why is this wrong? The reason is that black can now take knight takes d5. This was not played by her opponent. C takes d5, and here's the brilliant point. You push your pawn to c4, and what's happening? Well, after takes, try to think what's black's move here. Now you might think that you can play rook c8, pinning here. Unfortunately, that doesn't work because of b3. So the move here is actually b3. What a stunning move. Because now if you take bishop b3, I come in with a check and I win the bishop with all my pieces really powerfully placed. After b3, if you play now queen c1, now I can go rook c8, pinning here and winning the piece. So this was an important moment in the game for Humpy's opponent. She missed it, and then Humpy at a later point managed to comfortably sort of, fix this structure, and later the game ended in a draw. Let's go to Vaishali's game, because here is an interesting moment that happened in the rook endgame. Over here, it was black's pawns are going this way, and in this position, Vaishali actually played this check, h3, and if king h2, I think it's still a draw. But her opponent played the move king f2, and here we were thinking, what to do. Should black give a check? Oh, but then the king comes up. If I push the pawn, the rook goes behind. It's not easy to win. And then Vaishali found this amazing move with 1 minute on the clock, which is rook a6. This was beautifully played, because now the idea is that after check, you can block. If you go here, you can block here. Actually, the winning move is king g4, but it was very important to bring the rook like this, and this was a winning rook endgame with f and h pawns. Vaishali managed to win. One more game for you, and this is from the game of Tanya Sachdev. Tanya was the first player to win today. Her opponent, Borda Rodas Anna Paula. Tanya was totally winning, she was much better. But then she played this move knight d7, and all of a sudden black was back in the game. How? Black played this amazing move rook e8, and Tanya was like, oh my god, if I take here, I'm getting back rank mated, so I can't take it. But if I don't take it, what should I do? So she played the move h3. And this was the moment where black should have found the next critical move. Can you find it? Black to play. The move here is rook takes c4, a stunning move. Because if you take rook c4, your even rook is hanging. And otherwise, if you take on e8, your queen is hanging and also the rook. So here, this was the moment. But instead, Tanya's opponent took here on e1. And after rook e1, she now took on c4, but it was too late because in went queen e7 with the idea of checkmate. h5 was played, but then knight e5. You cannot prevent a mate on f7. And here Tanya's opponent resigned and India won 3.5. So both the A teams of men and women have won with a score of 3.5. It's getting more exciting. Tougher teams are coming up. Yesterday we won 4-0. Today 3.5. What's in store for the third round? Join us tomorrow. This is Sagar Shah signing off.